It is a new year, and if your resolution is to learn how to fly, then we're going to discuss what you should be looking for when choosing a flight school in 2021. That video is coming up right now. There's just something different about aviation. My name's Luke, and on this channel, you can watch me grow from student to professional pilot. Adventure is in aviation. So I'm sitting here with Doug Goodrich, owner of the Goodrich Pilot Training Center here at the Binghamton Airport. And Doug, thanks for coming on the video today. Most people know who watch my videos. I have a lot of young viewers, and a lot of you guys are aspiring pilots, and you're just starting your careers and training to become a pilot. So Doug, what are some things that my viewers should be looking for when they're trying to choose a flight school?
Yeah, when you first reach out to the flight school, you send them an email or call. See how they respond. If they don't respond, you probably should be looking someplace else, or they take a long time to respond. The other thing is do a discovery flight. They're usually not very expensive, and it's a great way to get to meet the flight instructor, see the airplane, see how the flight schools run. Most flight schools like ours are going to give you a bit of a sales pitch. Just, here's our program, here's what it's all about. See if they offer you advice as to potentially how to save money or get through the process quick. And one of the most important questions that I think an aspiring pilot could ask is, how long does it take to get a private pilot's license at your flight school? Because they vary a lot. Some flight schools, you won't even get a license if you don't have 100 hours in the logbook. That's just their business model. And others like ours, if you meet the standards, we move you right through. So don't be afraid to ask that question and see how they answer it.
So there's no doubt that 2020 has been a crazy year, and looking at the airlines, it might not be the most inspiring thing to want to become a pilot. So what do you say to my viewers who might want to become a pilot and do that as their career?
Yeah, 2020 has been tough. We've been fortunate that we've been able to keep flying through the majority of it. And the folks that are especially getting started with their career in the last year or two, I'm sure they've been struggling as airlines have been laying off and charter companies have been cutting back on hiring. But from all the many connections that I have in the industry, I think starting a career as a pilot is still going to be a good thing. We'll get through COVID, and I think there's still going to be a ton of demand for pilots in the future. So I think I still think it's a great career possibility, even if you're just getting started now.
So maybe if you're watching this, like we just talked about, the coronavirus is a pretty scary thing to some people. And if you're uncomfortable with starting your flight training right now, and you maybe want to wait a little, you may want to know what you can be doing right now to learn as much as you can about aviation. So what would you say to somebody who doesn't want to start flight training now, but still wants to get started?
One of the important things to understand about becoming a safe pilot is it's not just flying the airplane. The airplane is actually pretty easy to fly. Yes, there's skills and things like that you have to learn. But one of the things that most people don't consider as they're starting to think about even just becoming a private pilot is to be a safe pilot, there's a lot of knowledge that you have to have. And even if you're not even old enough to fly, you can start the education process. At the Goodrich Pilot Training Center, we use Sporty's ground school course, which is available online. You can go in. The deluxe package that we recommend that has a logbook and all of that stuff is in the $400 range. And you can get in and dive in and start watching the videos and learning the material. Quite frankly, all the things that the FAA is going to test you is all available in handbooks and advisory circulars online. You can look that stuff up. Not always the most exciting format, but it's still all of the knowledge. So in all of that FAA material is all free. They're PDFs that can be downloaded and started. And so you can start acquiring the knowledge even before you start in the airplane.
Yeah, and all the FAA books, I could link those PDFs to you guys in the description. The only way that you'd have to pay for those is if you actually wanted a hard copy of them, but same information is online.
And even there, they're not very expensive.
So if you've never been to the general aviation side of an airport and you're unfamiliar with small airplanes and what it's like to learn how to fly, then you may be curious, what kind of airplanes are you going to learn how to fly on? So what are the type of general airplanes that people typically learn how to fly on? And should you be looking for airplane availability, or how many instructors should a flight school has? Talk a little bit about that.
All right. Well, we operate a 172 and a 152 in our primary flight training program. And all different flight schools are going to have different high wing planes, low wing planes, and you're going to find some that are huge and have dozens of airplanes, and some others that are small like ours that are really tailored for the local community. So you got to go out and see what all the types of planes that they have, and it's going to vary a lot. We like the high wing Cessnas because they're easy to get in and out of, especially the 172. But the Pipers and other Diamonds and things like that are popular flight training planes are good planes also.
So another thing you may be curious about is, how much does it cost to learn how to fly? There's no doubt that flying is expensive, but there's a variety of different prices that you can pay depending on what airplane you fly on and where you are in the country. A flight school here in New York may be a little bit cheaper than a flight school down on the coasts of Florida. So what generally is a rule, or what generally can you look for when it comes to getting your license with regard to price?
Yeah, people ask that a lot. How much does it cost to get a private pilot's license? And our rule of thumb is typically around $10,000. It can be done for less. It can certainly be done for more. But we always try to inform the potential student pilot that we try to put things in their hands. There's a couple of important factors that go into controlling the price of learning how to fly. One is how much you study outside of the actual flight lesson. We find those that actually spend time doing the ground school course and just all the different kinds of things to learn that knowledge that I talked about earlier tend to progress through the program faster with less hours in their logbook, which means less money spent. The other thing that's important is how often you fly. Now, some people are flying on a budget, and we understand that, but if you can fly once a week at least, or even more, you're going to, again, get through the whole process with less hours in your logbook, which means less money spent.
So if you happen to be in the upstate New York area, and specifically the southern tier, then you may want to check out Goodrich Aviation and see what they have to offer, and maybe you could learn how to fly here. So how would somebody get in contact with the flight school if they wanted to come get their license here?
Yeah, the best thing to do is go online to goodrichaviation.com. We have a lot of different things we do, but you'll see under the Learn to Fly link a lot of information on our flight school, pricing, stuff about our planes and pilots. Start there, and then the best thing to do too is just to give me a call, and I can answer any questions you have, talk about our online scheduling system, payment plans, things like that. I'm happy to take phone calls from people and connect and answer questions, because I like that personal touch.
So I hope this video could give you a little more insight on what to look for when you're choosing a flight school and becoming a pilot. Doug, thank you so much for coming on the channel and giving my viewers a little more information from somebody who is in the industry.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Appreciate you having me on your channel.
Yeah, no problem. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to give Goodrich Aviation a look. I'll include the link down in the description below. Until next week, I want you to stay current, stay proficient, and keep the blue side up. Fly safe, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.